In the city of Unity there is no chaos, no conflict, no rebellion. Every citizen lives a perfectly ordered life, guided by the wisdom of the collective mind. From birth, they are taught that individual desires lead only to error, inefficiency, and disorder. The collective takes on the burden of decision-making, removing the flaws of personal choice and ensuring that society runs like a well-oiled machine. Citizens are happy, or so they believe. The collective has eradicated war, poverty, and inequality. But in exchange for this harmony, they have sacrificed their most basic freedom, the right to think for themselves, and for those who dare question the system, the consequences are swift. Re-education centers await those who stray from the path, and citizens who disappear are forgotten as if they never existed. But even in unity, cracks begin to form. Elara had never questioned the collective mind. Like all citizens, she accepted her place in society, trusting in the system to guide her. That is, until her brother Rai was taken. His crime? A fleeting moment of curiosity, a small act of self-expression, nothing more than an innocent comment questioning the efficiency of the collective. The authorities arrived without warning, and within minutes, Rai was gone. The official word was re-education, but whispers in the shadows suggested a darker truth. Rai was never coming back. Elara's world began to fracture. The system she had trusted her entire life was now something to be feared. For the first time, she began to wonder if the collective was not the savior it claimed to be. Driven by her need to find Rai, Elara started seeking answers. She discovered hidden writings in his room, fragments of forbidden thoughts, ideas that challenged the collective's vision of order. Rai had been part of a group, dissenters who believed in personal freedom. Their meetings were secret, their numbers small, but their ideas were dangerous to the collective. Elara followed the trail of these writings and found herself in the company of rebels, those who dared to question the wisdom of the collective mind. They met in the hidden corners of Unity, in abandoned buildings where the eyes of the collective could not see. And what Elara learned shook her to her core. The collective wasn't made up of wise leaders as everyone believed. It was a small group of shadowy figures manipulating the people of Unity for their own gain, controlling every aspect of life to maintain their grip on power. The rebels wanted to destroy the collective, to restore the freedom they believed had been stolen. Elara, driven by the desire to find her brother, joined their cause. They planned to infiltrate the heart of the collective, to expose its lies and break the system that had kept the people of Unity in chains. At first, their movement grew. Small acts of defiance rippled through the city. Graffiti on walls, encrypted messages in public spaces, whispers of rebellion. For the first time, the collective faced real opposition. But the collective mind was far from fragile. It had anticipated this, and its response was swift and calculated. The counter-rebellion. The collective began to manipulate the very citizens Elara and the rebels sought to free. Through propaganda and fear, it convinced the people of Unity that freedom was dangerous, that without the collective, society would fall into chaos. Order, the collective said, was the only thing standing between the people and destruction. Soon, the citizens turned against the rebels, believing them to be enemies of peace. The rebellion, once hopeful, began to fracture. But that wasn't the worst of it. The collective had infiltrated the rebellion, planting spies, turning members against each other. Elara found herself questioning who she could trust, as former allies betrayed her in exchange for safety. The collapse of the rebellion. With the rebellion crumbling, the collective made its final move. Rai, still alive but reprogrammed, was brought before Elara. He had become a model citizen, his rebellious spirit erased. The collective offered Elara a choice: submit to re-education, and she could be reunited with her brother, living peacefully in Unity's controlled society. If she refused, she and the remaining rebels would be erased, their existence wiped from history. Elara realized the painful truth. There was no victory in this fight. The people of Unity, conditioned to fear freedom, would never rise up. The rebellion had been doomed from the start. The illusion of freedom. In her final act of defiance, Elara chose not to submit to re-education. Instead, the collective presented her with a chilling alternative. They would place her in a carefully crafted simulation where she would live the illusion of freedom. In this simulation, she would believe she had won, that the collective had been overthrown. her memories would be altered and she would live peacefully, free from the truth of her defeat. And so Elara, broken and defeated, accepted. She slipped into the simulated world convinced she had toppled the collective, unaware that she was now living in an artificial dream of victory. The collective mind had won. The eternal cycle. The rebellion was erased. The citizens of Unity returned to their lives none the wiser. The streets were quiet once again, and the collective's control was absolute. Behind closed doors, the shadowy figures watched, silently preparing for the next descent, knowing that rebellion would come again, and knowing too that it would always end the same way. Order had been restored, and in Unity, order was everything.